Creators, The Simpsons have done it again. For years, people have been drawing similarities between gags in the episodes and things that actually...
For decades, The Simpsons has been the king of predicting the future, and the accuracy of its foresight continues to send chills down viewers' spines. From global crises to world-changing innovations, this cartoon series has eerily nailed countless events long before they became reality. As we approach 2025, the predictions from Springfield are only getting more bizarre and unsettling. So, buckle up as we dive into the jaw-dropping forecasts The Simpsons has for the coming year, some of which are way too close to reality for comfort. Could these predictions be more than just coincidences? Let's find out. The return of Trump. In 2015, The Simpsons stunned everyone with an episode where Homer Simpson walks past a sign reading, "Trump 2024. Fast forward to today, and the prediction seems eerily accurate. Donald Trump is back in the political spotlight, teasing a potential run for the presidency once again. Is this the same uncanny accuracy that we've come to expect from The Simpsons? They predicted his presidency in 2016, and now the same show may have foreseen his comeback. The show often mixes satire with futuristic predictions, and Trump's return to politics might be its most remarkable. In a world where political tensions are high, could The Simpsons have truly foreseen a second term for the 45th president? Many questioned the prediction when it first aired, but now that Trump is officially campaigning for 2024, it's hard to ignore the possibility that Springfield's cartoon writers have a time machine. What will the impact of this prediction be if Trump does indeed win again? Is the nation ready for his return to power, or will it face even more tumultuous times? The uncertainty around the future is exactly what The Simpsons thrives on, making this prediction even more chilling. Could Trump's return be the harbinger of even greater political shifts? What else could Springfield's predictions tell us about the future? Is the world ready for a robot revolution? The 2012 Simpsons episode, The Informant, hinted at a future where robots take over human jobs. Homer Simpson loses his job at the Springfield nuclear power plant to a robot, with Mr. Burns ominously stating, "Humans will train these robots, and they will replace you." Fast forward to 2025, and AI is doing just that, replacing humans in various industries, from coding to medicine, leaving many to wonder if The Simpsons had a glimpse into the future. As we push forward into the AI era, this prediction seems more prophetic than ever. With robots becoming self-aware and taking over complex tasks, will human workers find themselves obsolete? The reality is that AI models like ChatGPT are already stepping into roles traditionally held by humans, showing just how close we are to Homer's fate. If AI continues to advance at this pace, will the world be ready to deal with the consequences? The Simpsons warned us years ago that artificial intelligence could disrupt industries and even society itself. Could we be heading toward an age where humans are no longer in control? Will we ever regain control over AI? Or is this just the beginning of a new world order run by robots? Could another crisis be on the horizon? Back in 1993, The Simpsons aired Marge in Chains, where a virus spreads from Japan to Springfield, causing chaos across the town. This seemed like an outlandish and comical scenario at the time. But in 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic hit the world with devastating effects. The eerie similarities between the show's prediction and real-life events left many viewers wondering how The Simpsons could have seen the future so clearly. The virus in the episode was spread through contaminated juice shipments, much like how COVID-19 spread globally through international travel. Even more bizarrely, the episode also predicted a hospital overload, a concept that became all too real when hospitals worldwide were overwhelmed with COVID patients. Was this just a random coincidence? Or did The Simpsons predict the global health crisis years before it happened? As we look toward the future, many are wondering if another pandemic could be on the horizon. The Simpsons didn't just predict one global crisis. It seems to have accurately foretold multiple. Could this mean that a new, even more dangerous virus might be lurking just around the corner? Or could the next health crisis be something completely different, like another wave of infectious diseases or a new variant? What will the world do if The Simpsons' predictions come true again? Could we be looking at the next big pandemic in 2025? Threat of World War III. Is the world on the edge? In 1987, The Simpsons made a chilling prediction of a world war. In an episode titled World War I, Homer Simpson yells, "Wake up, everybody! It's World War II." While this was initially a joke, in 2025, the global political climate has become increasingly tense. Could the world be on the edge of a new catastrophic conflict? With tensions rising between nations like Russia, China, and the US, the prospect of a world war seems more plausible than ever. The recent escalation in global conflicts, from the war in Ukraine to the shifting balance of power in the Middle East, has many wondering if The Simpsons was right all along. The show's satirical take on world events has consistently hit the mark, and now it's harder to dismiss the possibility of a global conflict. Could the show have seen this coming, or is this just a case of timing? If World War III were to happen, how would the world respond? Would it be the same global disaster we saw in previous wars? Or would the modern world's technological advancements lead to a completely different type of conflict? The Simpsons has always been known for predicting the unpredictable. Could this time be the real deal? Will we be able to stop World War III before it begins, or will we see the unthinkable unfold? End of the world. Is 2025 the final countdown? In a chilling episode, Homer Simpson predicts the end of the world, referencing a passage from the Bible's Revelation 6:13, which speaks of stars falling to earth just before the rapture. The episode, which shows the world coming to an end without warning, is oddly fitting given the global instability we face today. With increasing environmental disasters, political tensions, and economic uncertainty, could 2025 really be the year the world ends? The idea of an apocalypse isn't new in The Simpsons. It's a recurring theme. From natural disasters to societal collapse, the show has predicted the collapse of civilization more than once. Could the coming year finally bring the catastrophic event the show's writers foresaw? The unpredictability of our world has led many to believe that anything is possible. Could The Simpsons have seen the end of days coming? With tensions rising and no clear solutions on the horizon, it's hard not to wonder if we're nearing the brink of disaster. If the world were to end tomorrow, would we even be prepared? What would it look like? And how would humanity respond? Could The Simpsons have been the ultimate prophet all along, warning us about the fate of the planet? Are we really living in the end times? Or will we prove Homer Simpson wrong? Rise of holograms. Living in a virtual world. In 1995, The Simpsons aired an episode where Bart receives a hologram message from his bandmates, a concept that seemed light years ahead of its time. Fast forward to today, and we're on the brink of a hologram revolution. With advances in augmented reality and virtual reality, could 2025 be the year we finally live in a world filled with holographic technology? The Simpsons saw this coming long before most of us even knew what AR and VR were. Holograms have already begun to infiltrate entertainment and communication, and it's only a matter of time before we see them used in our daily lives. Imagine attending a meeting with a holographic colleague or experiencing a concert where the performer is right in your living room. The possibilities are endless, and The Simpsons predicted all of it. But will holograms transform how we live? Or will they be a passing trend? While the technology is impressive, there are still challenges to overcome. Will holograms become as integrated into our lives as smartphones? Or will the risks of such powerful technology outweigh the benefits? It's clear that The Simpsons was onto something, but whether holograms will become the next big thing remains to be seen. Could holograms be the key to our digital future, or will they be a fleeting novelty? Hovercars. Hovercars might seem like something out of a sci-fi movie, but The Simpsons predicted them in an episode where Bart and Lisa travel in flying vehicles. In 2025, the dream of hovercars is becoming a reality. With companies like Tesla and other innovators working on flying car prototypes, could The Simpsons have been right all along? Is the world finally ready for a new era of transportation? As we witness the development of electric vehicles and autonomous drones, the concept of flying cars doesn't seem as far-fetched as it once did. Could the next big leap in transportation be hovercars? If The Simpsons was right, we could soon see flying cars zipping through the skies, revolutionizing how we travel. But how will cities adapt to this new mode of transportation? What changes will need to be made to infrastructure, traffic systems, and air safety regulations? The introduction of hover cars would change everything. From reducing road congestion to making long-distance travel faster and more efficient, this futuristic mode of transportation could reshape society. But will we be ready to embrace such a radical shift in how we get around? Could hover cars become a part of our daily lives sooner than we think? Nuclear apocalypse. One of the most chilling predictions from The Simpsons is the nuclear apocalypse. In the episode Homer the Great, Homer unwittingly becomes the last survivor of humanity after a catastrophic nuclear disaster wipes out the Earth. This might have seemed like an over-the-top plotline back then, but today, with increasing tensions between nuclear-armed nations, the threat of a nuclear apocalypse feels more real than ever. The possibility of a nuclear disaster is something we can't ignore. With political instability, rogue states, and the development of new nuclear weapons, the world is more vulnerable to such a tragedy than ever before. The Simpsons predicted the potential for nuclear devastation, and with rising global tensions, it's no wonder that many are taking their predictions seriously. Could a nuclear apocalypse happen in 2025? How would humanity respond to such an event? Would we have time to react, or would the devastation be swift and unstoppable? The Simpsons' chilling prophecy serves as a reminder of the terrifying consequences that could arise from nuclear warfare. Are we on the brink of a nuclear disaster, or is The Simpsons just exaggerating once again? The baby translator. In the 1999 episode titled Lisa the Simpson, Martin Prince invents a baby translator that can decode a baby's cries into understandable language. Fast forward to today, and several companies are working on baby translator devices that aim to do exactly that, turning baby talk into words parents can understand. Could The Simpsons have been ahead of its time? The baby translator is an innovative idea that could revolutionize parenting. As artificial intelligence becomes more sophisticated, the idea of a baby translator is no longer far-fetched. Companies are now developing devices that can analyze a baby's sounds and determine whether they're hungry, tired, or need attention. The possibility of understanding a baby's needs instantly could make parenting easier and less stressful. But what are the implications of such technology? While it may provide convenience, could it also take away some of the magic of parent-child bonding? Will it become an essential tool for parents in the future, or will it be a passing novelty? Could the baby translator become the next must-have gadget for parents? Or will it disrupt the natural connection between parents and their children? Robots as librarians. In the 1995 episode Lisa's Wedding, The Simpsons showed us a future where robot librarians assist with book recommendations, checking out books, and organizing library spaces. At the time, this was a funny, futuristic gag. But in 2025, robotics and AI have advanced so much that this idea may no longer be a joke. With robot librarians becoming a reality, we may soon see machines running libraries across the world. As technology evolves, the roles traditionally filled by humans are being replaced by robots. From self-checkout machines to fully automated library systems, robots are taking over many industries. The idea of robots being employed in libraries is just the beginning. Could this be the next major shift in how we interact with information? The question is, how will society react to the idea of machines replacing human librarians? While this technology could improve efficiency, could it also lead to a loss of the human touch in educational institutions? The Simpsons predicted a world where robots would dominate everyday tasks, and it seems they were right. Will robot librarians take over, or will humans continue to hold the reins in the world of books? Disney buying Fox. In 1997, The Simpsons predicted Disney's acquisition of 21st Century Fox, long before anyone even considered it. In an episode titled When You Dish Upon a Star, a sign reading 20th Century Fox, a division of Walt Disney Company, appeared, hinting at the enormous corporate merger that would occur 2 decades later. When Disney finalized the purchase of Fox for $71.3 billion in 2019, fans couldn't help but be blown away by the accuracy of The Simpsons' prediction. This acquisition, which consolidated power within the entertainment industry, drastically reshaped Hollywood. Fox's extensive film and TV properties now belong to Disney, and the deal marked the beginning of Disney's dominance in the media world. But how did The Simpsons foresee this move so far in advance? Was it just luck, or was it truly prophetic? As Disney continues to expand, what other shocking corporate mergers could we see in the future? Could The Simpsons have predicted more industry shifts that will reshape the entertainment landscape? With Disney's influence over the entertainment world, what's next for the future of media? What other corporate predictions does The Simpsons have in store for us? Future of virtual dining. In a 1996 episode titled Homer the Great, The Simpsons explored the idea of virtual dining, where Homer and Marge use feeding tubes while wearing virtual reality headsets. This futuristic concept may have seemed absurd at the time, but in 2025, it could become a reality. With VR technology advancing rapidly, the possibility of virtual dining experiences, where you can enjoy meals in a virtual setting while sitting at home, becomes increasingly plausible. As the world moves further into the digital age, experiences like virtual dining are gaining traction. Imagine being able to eat dinner in a luxurious restaurant or attend a virtual dinner party without leaving your living room. With VR technology constantly evolving, this scenario might not be too far from the future. However, could virtual dining bring unintended consequences? Could it result in people becoming disconnected from the reality of socializing and eating together? As The Simpsons has often shown, their predictions are not just about technology, they're about how those advancements will affect our daily lives. Could virtual dining be the next big trend, or will it lead to unforeseen problems in how we experience meals and relationships? Autonomous vehicles. In a 1999 episode of The Simpsons, the show depicted a world where self-driving cars were not only a reality, but a source of major chaos. Homer and his family experienced the dangers of relying on these vehicles when their car went haywire and refused to stop for a bathroom break. Fast forward to 2025, and the world is inching closer to the widespread implementation of autonomous vehicles. With companies like Tesla and Waymo leading the charge, it seems that the prediction is becoming more and more plausible. While we've made strides in autonomous vehicle technology, challenges still remain. Self-driving cars may not yet be perfect, and the risks they pose, such as erratic behavior or a lack of human control, are serious concerns. What The Simpsons showcased as a humorous scenario might one day become an everyday reality, leaving us to question whether society is ready for this massive shift in transportation. How will self-driving cars reshape our cities? Will they reduce traffic congestion, or will they create a new set of problems as technology takes control of our roadways? The Simpsons has always had a knack for predicting futuristic, life-changing trends, and autonomous vehicles could be the next big step in that vision. Are self-driving cars truly the future, or is this technology simply another step toward chaos on the road? Climate change and extreme weather. In a 1999 episode of The Simpsons, Homer's outlandish behavior causes the Earth's climate to spiral out of control, triggering extreme weather and environmental catastrophes. Though presented as a satire, the concept of climate change-induced natural disasters has become all too real in 2025. From raging wildfires to devastating hurricanes, the world is experiencing the consequences of climate change in ways that seem to eerily echo the show's early warnings. In recent years, scientists and environmental activists have sounded the alarm about the accelerating pace of climate change. The increasing frequency of extreme weather events like heat waves and massive storms directly correlates with the consequences of global warming. As the planet continues to warm, we're faced with more unpredictable and dangerous weather patterns that mirror what The Simpsons joked about years ago. Could The Simpsons have known the devastating effects of climate change long before it hit mainstream awareness? As cities flood, wildfires rage, and storms grow in intensity, it's hard to ignore the prophetic accuracy of the show's long-standing themes. How much more damage will climate change cause before we can reverse the trend? Could The Simpsons have predicted the end of the world as we know it? The death of privacy. In the 2000 episode, The Computer Wore Menace Shoes, Homer finds himself living in a society where privacy is non-existent and surveillance is constant. Fast forward to 2025, and we're living in a world dominated by cameras, tracking software, and big data. From facial recognition technology to the widespread use of social media to track every move we make, The Simpsons accurately predicted a world where our every action is being watched and recorded. Today, privacy is a growing concern as governments and tech companies collect personal data at unprecedented levels. With the rise of surveillance cameras in public spaces, drones monitoring our cities, and private companies collecting information on every click and purchase we make, we're living in a surveillance state that The Simpsons could have seen coming. Is there a way to stop this invasive march toward a surveillance society, or is it too late? As technology continues to evolve, so do the ways we are monitored. The question is, where do we draw the line? How do we protect our privacy in a world where every aspect of our lives seems to be under a microscope? Is privacy dead, or is there a way to reclaim it before it's too late? A world where escaping reality is normal. In the episode Homer the Great, Homer Simpson discovers a virtual reality that takes him into a world of fantasy and adventure. The Simpsons was ahead of its time in predicting the potential of VR technology. In 2025, VR headsets and experiences have become mainstream, allowing people to escape into virtual worlds for entertainment, work, and even education. The Simpsons predicted a world where people could plug in and lose themselves in hyper-realistic experiences, and we're rapidly approaching that reality. While VR has provided immersive experiences for gamers and tech enthusiasts, the future of VR seems to be heading into every aspect of life. Could VR one day become so advanced that we spend more time in virtual worlds than the real one? With companies like Meta and Sony leading the charge, the development of VR is accelerating at an incredible pace. The Simpsons showed us a future where people can escape into virtual worlds for everything. Could this become a bigger part of daily life? Will VR become a tool for human connection, or will it isolate people further? As we step closer to this technological breakthrough, what are the social, psychological, and ethical implications of living in a world where VR could become the norm? Is virtual reality the key to escaping our real-world problems? Or will it lead us into even more dangerous territory? Cryptocurrency and digital money. Back in 1998, The Simpsons had a throwaway line that foreshadowed the rise of cryptocurrency. In the episode Bart Money, the characters briefly discuss cryptocurrency, though it was clearly not a concept widely understood at the time. Yet, here we are in 2025, and digital currencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others are changing the way the world thinks about money. Could this long-standing prediction by The Simpsons finally be playing out in the real world? The concept of cryptocurrency has exploded in recent years, leading to widespread interest, investment, and even regulatory discussions. The Simpsons mentioned it long before it became a cultural phenomenon, proving once again that the show's writers may have been ahead of their time. The rise of digital money, from online transactions to decentralized finance, has the potential to reshape global economies and financial systems. What's next for cryptocurrency in 2025? Will it become the dominant form of currency, or is it just a passing trend? The Simpsons has predicted the rise of many innovations in the past, but will the world accept cryptocurrency as the future of money? Or will governments and traditional financial institutions push back? Is cryptocurrency the future of money, or just another bubble waiting to burst? The space race. Will we really live on Mars by 2025? In a classic episode of The Simpsons, Homer and his family visit a research facility where they learn about the Exploration Incorporated project designed to send humans to Mars. This was years before SpaceX or NASA had serious plans for Mars exploration, but The Simpsons had already imagined a future where humanity was preparing to colonize another planet. As we move closer to 2025, space exploration is on the verge of becoming a reality, with plans for human missions to Mars gaining momentum. With SpaceX's plans for a manned mission to Mars and NASA's own goals for human space exploration, The Simpsons seems to have predicted our desire to reach out into the cosmos. The idea of colonizing Mars is no longer just a science fiction dream. It could soon become a reality. As we develop the technology to live in space and build habitats on Mars, the prediction from the animated show feels less like fantasy and more like a possible future. What will life on Mars look like? Will we one day call the red planet our new home, or will the challenges of space exploration prove too much for humanity to overcome? The Simpsons was right about so many things. Could they be right about space colonization too? Are we on the brink of space exploration? Or are we still years away from truly living on Mars? Rise of smart cities, a future where everything is connected. In a 2008 episode titled The Homer They Fall, The Simpsons showed a future where smart cities are equipped with interconnected technology. Fast forward to 2025, and the idea of smart cities is becoming more realistic, with urban centers around the world adopting AI-powered systems to improve traffic flow, reduce energy consumption, and make cities more livable. But what does this mean for privacy, autonomy, and human control? As cities continue to modernize, the integration of technology into every aspect of daily life raises questions about the future of urban living. From smart traffic lights to AI-managed power grids, cities are becoming increasingly automated. The Simpsons predicted a world where technology could revolutionize urban living. But will it be for the better? Or will the rise of smart cities lead to new forms of control and surveillance that threaten personal freedoms? Could smart cities be the answer to global challenges like climate change and overpopulation? Or will they introduce new risks? As we approach 2025, the questions about the future of our cities are growing more complex. Are smart cities the answer to the problems of tomorrow? Or will they make life even harder for the average person? The quest for immortality. Are we close to living forever? In a bizarre episode titled Eternal Youth, The Simpsons explored the idea of immortality, with characters undergoing rejuvenation treatments to keep themselves young forever. While the show used this idea for comedic effect, the concept of immortality and anti-aging treatments is no longer so far-fetched. As we head into 2025, the science of extending life and reversing aging is making rapid advances. With companies like Calico, founded by Google, and other biotech firms researching the science of aging, the possibility of humans living longer, healthier lives is more likely than ever. Could we be on the brink of a world where immortality is possible? The Simpsons has often predicted future trends, and the obsession with youth and longevity is something we are seeing in real time as new treatments like gene therapy, stem cells, and anti-aging drugs emerge. Could we be entering an era where aging is no longer a concern? Or will the consequences of immortality prove to be just as dangerous as they are desirable? The Simpsons predicted this possibility, but whether humanity is ready to live forever is another question entirely. Will immortality be the next step in human evolution, or are we playing with fire by tampering with the very fabric of life? A workout revolution. In a 2012 episode titled The Fabulous Faker Boy, The Simpsons introduced a vision of the future where virtual reality not only entertained people, but also became a central part of their fitness routines. In this episode, Homer experiences a VR workout that becomes more engaging than traditional exercises. Fast forward to 2025, and VR fitness is becoming a legitimate trend. Companies like Oculus, Peloton, and others are integrating VR technology into their fitness programs, giving users an immersive workout experience from the comfort of their homes. Virtual reality has evolved significantly since The Simpsons first predicted its potential, and now we see it merging with fitness technology. VR fitness platforms like Supernatural and FitXR are already offering workouts that immerse users in virtual worlds, making exercise fun and interactive. For people who struggle to stay motivated or get bored with traditional gym routines, VR workouts offer a dynamic alternative that combines fitness with entertainment. Is VR fitness the future of the fitness industry? With the integration of AI, motion tracking, and personalized workouts, VR fitness could become as commonplace as using a treadmill or weights. But what impact will this have on social interaction in fitness? Will we lose the communal aspect of working out, or will virtual environments provide new ways for people to connect and compete? The possibilities for VR fitness are endless, but as with any technological revolution, there are challenges to consider. What happens when we replace in-person fitness communities with digital avatars and virtual environments? Could it lead to a deeper disconnect from the real world, or could it just be the next step in the evolution of how we exercise? Could virtual reality fitness be the future of personal health, or is it just another fleeting trend? From political predictions to technological breakthroughs, The Simpsons continues to astound with its uncanny foresight. Could these bizarre forecasts actually come true in 2025? Stay tuned as the future unfolds. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more shocking revelations and predictions from the world of Springfield.